Hey guys, it's Green Zero here, back with another Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath video commentary. We are on Tiki Turmoil for another game here for you today. Thought I'd bring you another game. I saw this on the system and I wanted to see what it was like. We've actually got fighting already, so there you go. I've been wasting a little bit too much time. So on the top right hand side, we have bike-RUsh+ownz playing as Steel Talons. This is a random mirror, by the way. bike-RUsh+ownz versus Figure, which is Drove, the Russian himself. Probably my third favourite Russian at the moment, puts the War Factory down. We did see bike-RUsh win out in this engagement over here. We can see that bike-RUsh is Steel Talons. Yes, we saw his Harvester. Drive is Zocom, if I didn't mention that already. So it's Zocom versus Steel Talons. It's a fight of the GDI sub-factions. Drive, I'd imagine, does have some scouts here and here. He is going to be able to see what bike-RUsh is up to. Of course, Steel Talons do have some potent rushes in or up their sleeve. Zocom, I've said this before, I personally think Zocom is the worst faction to rush with in the game. They are very limited in what they can do, and it's not, even what they can do is not particularly powerful, so I definitely wouldn't recommend trying to do too many rushes with the Zocom. bike-RUsh is going to expand. He's not going to put down his power plant, so he's definitely a fan. I'm not doing that. Again, depending on how far away the tip field is, you'll often see me doing it as well. If it's very close, the tip field is not too far on this map. It's just there, so, and it's also on the other side of your MCV, so you don't have to drive across your own field or anything like that. So you can basically just look at this, 3 foxholes, because bike-RUsh is like, you know, 1 is not enough. And this is what he's doing here. He's obviously trying to focus down a power plant, and having 3 foxholes means that Driver's going to have to spend a considerable amount of time dislodging those. And you're thinking, oh, they're just foxholes, they're not heavily armored or anything like that. But at this stage of the game, look at that, that's cheeky. At this stage in the game, when you're trying to eco, he knows bike-RUsh is ecoing. He wants to eco as well. He's Zocom, it's going to be the build he wants to do. He knows that he's not going to have anything to deal with these for a while, and you can actually DPS down a power plant with 3 rifles. But of course, he's dropped a Tiberium side. That still cost him $100, but I mean, it's way better than, I mean, he spent money to repair. He did put another one down as well, so he's not even going to worry about that. Ref will come down. bike-RUsh does have a ref already down. It's only just come down because the Harvester's got no Tiberium, but another Harvester will join it. Meanwhile, Drive is somewhat behind here. Not sure if he's got anything else happening. He's only got 4 Harvesters on his main. bike-RUsh actually has 5 Harvesters on the main, and he's going for another Harvester to the blue Tiberium field already, which is starting to grow. You can probably send it out about now. I don't generally get the blue Tiberium till a bit later on. It's in this protected area, but then you have to drive between this area and your base, which it's very susceptible for enemy units to come down here and cut that off, and it's hard to reinforce there. So I think the blue tip fields, they're very interesting when I first saw them on this map, but they actually turned out to be quite good in terms of their design and placement, so makes it quite interesting. Drive just having a bit of power problems here. He went for another ref before getting a power plant down here. His rifleman squad are actually ranking up now, so that's something. Look at that. Drive is actually taking bike-RUsh's blue Tiberium. That's why he was short on Harvesters. Now, this isn't going to work out too well, because you can see bike-RUsh almost got a full load of blue Tiberium. For some reason, his Harvester, there we go. It may have been just waiting for that last crystal to grow. I'm not sure if that was the AI of the Harvester or bike-RUsh managing that himself. Second ref will come down, so bike-RUsh didn't have a second ref. He's only just put it down. Driver's had his down for quite some time. Predator tanks coming out now. In the GDI mirror, Predator tanks are always going to be reliable. I mean, in pretty much any matchup, the Predator tank is probably the single most reliable tier 1 armored unit in the game. Very heavily armored, or not very heavily, but much heavily armored than the other factions, and deals a lot of damage. But of course, it costs more and it is slower, but it's not really that slow. I mean, it's not terribly slow. It's not as slow as Titans, which bike-RUsh will have to build. Now, Titans obviously will win if there's buildings or cover, but out in the open, Predator tanks just have numbers and they'll just be able to focus them down. Drive just being annoying. He has a few rocket squads randomly positioned here, and this is what the Russian players like. They do random things like this. They play like AIs, and it's actually really annoying because you get caught out, you lose units here or there. He actually did destroy the Titan, so it will be destroyed. bike-RUsh going back for more blue tip. There isn't going to be any, unfortunately. What was that? Oh, the Harvester here from Drive is actually not sure what he's doing. He's actually got it there. He's actually manually ordering that around, by the way. It is going to return to base. Meanwhile, bike-RUsh+ownz has gone for a Titan. He's gone for an infantry Titan and some Wolverines as well. So looks like Drive wanted to do something with infantry, but I don't know. He's got no field suit, so unfortunately these infantry are just going to get completely cleaned up. bike-RUsh, no AP ammo, not going to matter though. He's going to move towards his third base. Obviously looking just to protect himself until he has tier 3 or the third base down. So obviously planning for some late game. Something just got blown out of the sky. I'm not sure what it was. I can't even see if there's any AA units here. There was an APC there. I'm not sure what that was that got completely blown up then, but something was destroyed. Drive doesn't actually have an air... Oh, yes, he does. Oh, my God. He's building double airfield Zorka. These are Zorkas, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. These are not Orcas. It's incredibly expensive, but they're going to be disastrously powerful. Battle markers raging up here. He's just spotted the airfield there, so bike-RUsh is going to come over here. He has got APM completed. To be honest, Drive, he's got Pred APC. He doesn't even need to use the Zorkas to engage that. He's actually going to destroy this spike. Very easily capturable in the later on periods of the game, but deciding not to do that. He's just going to completely destroy that. The Zorkas are now moving into the base here, and they're going to look for harvesters. Does bike-RUsh realize these are here? Oh, he unloads a lot of ammunition. He actually destroys the refinery. Okay, that... 2 harvesters for 8 orcas is not a good trade, but when you get the refinery, that makes things a bit sweeter. We have an engagement breaking out over here, but I honestly think that Drive should be fine here. He's going to be able to push the Titans back. There's actually quite a bit of infantry here as well, some hammerheads, but there's a turret there as well. He needs to reload his orcas, but we can see they're actually flying off in the background there. He needs them to help destroy these Titans. Once the Titans are down, he actually doesn't have very many APCs left. They're mostly getting chewed up, but the Predator tanks are still alive, and they can actually finish this off now. Nice shot with that orca strike there. He loses a power plant, or I'm not sure what that was. I think it was a power plant. He will hold, but Drive trades most of his defensive force for that. And for bike-RUsh, that seemed more like an expenditory force. You know, it wasn't something that was supposed to win the game. It was something that was supposed to put pressure on and set Drive back. Drive does have a third base. Also, bike-RUsh also has one. Oh my God, is he going to drop a ref here as well? He's actually, yeah, he's forcing bike-RUsh to split, and he's going to waste his ammunition. No, he gets 2 harvesters, but again, a lot of ammunition wasted. They only hold 5 sonic rounds, by the way, and they'll unload those in about I think it's 1.5 seconds to unload all 5 rounds. So it's pretty quick. Of course, they can offload their damage a lot quicker. A few units are going to get cleaned up here, unfortunately, so bike-RUsh will be able to protect himself. Battle marker over here. Oh, he may have crushed some harvesters. No, the harvesters are here, so he obviously pulled it back. I'm not sure if he did lose one. He may have lost one, but wouldn't be able to tell you without rewinding the replay, which you cannot do in Kane's Wrath because it's a really old game now, and it doesn't have that feature. But nonetheless... we see this Pitbull now moving forward here, just keeping his eyes out. Now, this is actually an interesting game because Drive has done a really weird strategy. bike-RUsh has really no answer to this just yet. He's just kind of allowed it to happen. The Orcas have only had 2 strikes, so they probably haven't quite paid for themselves. They're probably about on par at the moment. They have killed 4 harvesters, and they have killed refinery. And unfortunately, Drive, if bike-RUsh micros this correctly, he will be able to get 3 harvesters. Unfortunately, I don't think, he wasted some rounds there, so he's not going to be able to do anything about that. The Zorkas will come around. I think he fired some sonic grenades off here. If he hasn't got these on hold ground stance, that would be very unusual, or a hold fire, hold ground. That's what you really want to keep orcas on unless you're giving a general attack order. Tries to push in over here. bike-RUsh is like, oh, I don't have much to defend this, but Drive seems to have been... he doesn't really have, there's a paltry force, he doesn't really have enough to punch through that, so I guess he's just going to bide his time. bike-RUsh taking blue Tiberium from there at the moment. He's got a few Pitbulls out and about, obviously to counter the orcas here. Something that I've noticed, I don't think those orcas actually have ceramic armor, by the way. I'm just going to have to go double check that. That orca just balls straight through. Actually, no, those are Zorkas, sorry. They would have been striking something. Yeah, sorry, I did miss that there. He was striking more of bike-RUsh's economy. And no, he doesn't have ceramic armor. That's like a super cheap upgrade, and it makes those Zorkas really difficult to kill. And he's got hammerheads here now. Drive has managed to produce quite a few hammerheads. bike-RUsh has hammerheads, but of course they can't target each other, so he's just going to be able to focus these down now. Still no ceramic armor. I'm surprised bike-RUsh didn't build more anti-air. He's actually going to lose this game momentarily if he can't respond to these quick smart. He's going to try to focus down the power, so he can't. What's he doing? What is... Oh, no, he's leaving the area. The Pitbulls are coming, but to be honest, there is actually quite a few Pitbulls there, so maybe it is a good idea to back out of this area. Meanwhile, this fight's going on over here. Looks like Drive is losing his army to the hammerheads of bike-RUsh. Not sure where the Zorkas are, but meanwhile, forces are moving in over here. The Orcas now are just ravaging the base here from Drive. He hasn't actually put down any AA turrets there. He really needs to do so, and Drive there just firing, unfortunately wasting ammunition on those... on those AA batteries. He does now have ceramic armor, by the way, so without tungsten shell, those batteries are going to be pretty useless against these hammerheads, and I think bike-RUsh may have just been hit for 6 by our Russian friend here. And the Russian players do play significantly differently from the rest of the community, but unfortunately Drive is losing his economy as well, so this may force or may convince bike-RUsh to stay in the game, but Drive is going to back out. He could have probably just overrun those pipples, or the turret comes down. He probably could have overrun it still, but maybe lost a few too many hammerheads for that. But it's always that decision you got to make. Can you overrun an area before it becomes cost inefficient, and can you afford to lose these units? He still has all these Zorkas, by the way, so I mean, look at that. He's gonna realize now he can just overrun this, so he's gonna destroy those pipples. They had no chance. I mean, ceramic armor, they can't get through that. They need quite a few shots to get through the ceramic armor. With a pitbull, he needs slingshots, or he needs tungsten shell, or he needs firehawks. He needs one of those things to be able to deal with it. These turrets here just pick at them. They just peck at them. But they've pushed him back for the time being. But yeah, Drive is just, Orca's still flying around. But the Zorkas now are out and about. They're over here. So it's really only a matter of time. They're just going to come back. They might even just decide to focus this down. He might even just be, just try to focus. What? Oh my god, that was a waste. Alright, so he's unfortunately just wasted his ammunition there. So that's going to buy bike-RUsh some time. But I don't think it matters too much. bike-RUsh is trying to hold on here. He's trying to defend his base, but he's just got these really paltry turrets. These are the worst turrets, the worst static AA in the game, unless, they've got tungsten. But they don't have tungsten, so they're really weak, especially against these ceramic armor. They can just fly right through them, and they're not really going to do anything at all. bike-RUsh doesn't have a refinery queued, which he kind of needs, because he looks like he's hurting for cash here. Meanwhile, the his Orcas which are keeping him in the game. Drive, this is almost a refusal to counter the Orcas. He's just like, yeah, cool, here's my harvesters, just come in and take them. Just keep coming back, I'm not going to stop you. And those pitbulls, or that one pitbull, he's building pitbulls to respond to this. I mean, you can do so. Hammerhead's coming in now. They're going to try to focus this area down. He needs a turret. He's actually going to sell his comm center now. He can't actually replace airfields without a comm center. Did he? Oh my god, he sold his MCV. What is Drive doing at the moment? This is really weird. He's selling himself out of the game. He has a war factory. Oh my god, what is he doing? I'm not 100% sure what he is doing, but Slingshot is now out, but it's by itself, and he's going to try to target those harvesters. He will target the harvesters. There's Orcas. They might as well stay here and draw fire, because, I mean, there's no airfield. They're just going to burn up now that they've used their ammunition. Unfortunately, he's in range of that turret there, just able to, look how weak that is. It just barely does anything to these guys here. Battle markers over here, no power plants, and Drive is down to 1 building. Is he actually just going to lose this game? Oh my god, it's almost as if he just gifted it back to bike-RUsh there. That is a bit unfortunate. So bike-RUsh, I don't believe, has any harvesters. No, he doesn't. He's got no harvesters, but Drive has a war factory and no income, so he's just left the game. So, whoa, I mean, that was Drive's game. He won the game, basically. He won the game, and then I don't know what the decision making was from there, especially to sell his MCV. All he needed to do was to defend 1 field against a couple of aircraft, and he could have done that with like 1 turret and a couple of pits. I mean, he's not against ceramic armor, he's against regular Orcas and hammerheads. He can very easily defend against that, but unfortunately just, selling up all of his base and just trying to kill bike-RUsh. I think he thought maybe he could just kill him. But unfortunately, it's bike-RUsh, and it doesn't matter if he doesn't have any harvesters, he's still going to quad war factory. Well, not quite that bad, but I've seen him do that before. But yeah, able to hold on. But yeah, it is bike-RUsh, 116,000, 107,000. We can see Drive flatlined for the last couple of minutes. Last 3 minutes of the game, he was flatlined. So the harvesters he did have were not really doing anything, and he did lose most of them. So that was actually a really interesting game. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'm Green Zero, and I'll catch you all in the next VOD.